The context is that in the last 6 to 8 months, what we've seen is this disruption happening all around the world. And as we adjust to what we call this next normal, what we are seeing is what we're seeing emerging is a strong and renewed interest in entrepreneurship. Now, again, what we've seen in the last couple of months, and we've seen it firsthand, is the fact that we're transitioning from what we call the traditional economy to something called the digital economy. We've seen the power of technology. We know that with technology, there is a potential to create anything new, and you can actually reach it out to any consumer anywhere in the world. So that's the kind of possibilities that you get by adopting technology. And what that means is even more opportunities for anyone who's got a good idea, who's got access to the technology to actually start his own venture. So that's on one end. And on the other end, what we see is the government has this big challenge, not just in the state, but also in the center. Their challenge is to broaden employment opportunities. They want to make sure that they can do that, by increasing the activities that you see in the MSME sector, which means that there are again, more opportunities being created by the government. So what we have for a discussion is to understand what is the opportunities that can come about in Kerala. And we have with us today Shri M G Rajamanickam. He's the Managing Director of KSIDC. He's also the Director of the Industries and Commerce Department of the Ministry of Industries. Welcome you, sir. Thank you for your time. Just to introduce a little bit more about our speaker for the day, Shri M G Rajamanickam has been well known in Kerala, mostly as a collector who's brought in this, many new initiatives. He's also served in many leadership positions as a chairman and managing director of the Kerala State Road Transport Corporation, as a managing director of Kerala Financial Corporation, the Kerala Books and Publication Society, and Kerala State IT Infrastructure Limited, etc. So I think we've lost Shri Rajamanickam once again. So, going further, what we have seen from the profile of the audience is that we have many professionals. We have many students and teachers from not just Kerala, but also from outside Kerala. We have some entrepreneurs. We also have many potential entrepreneurs in all of you, waiting to hear what are the next steps that they can undertake if they really want to, jump into entrepreneurship. And, let's wait for a few minutes. Hopefully we can have Shri Rajamanickam, getting into the into our webinar platform. So what I'd like to state is that if you have any questions, whatever be the questions, throw it at us. We will try and answer it after this short session by the speaker.
Can you please enable me to present?
Yes. Yes. Can you present?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope my presentation is on.
Yes, it is. If you can put it in the
okay.
Sir, if you can put it in your slide mode.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yes. So good evening, everyone. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's much better. Yeah.
So good evening, everyone. Especially thanks to Professor George Paul for inviting me to this webinar. In fact, rightly he said the context is everyone. Not only in Kerala, everywhere, everyone is undergoing is a difficult time, and as rightly he pointed out, is we cannot even say it's a new normal. It's a kind of what is that? Abnormal, actually, to be very frank. So that is a situation in which that everywhere in the world is going on, but hopefully everything will be all right and it's coming back. But as far as Kerala at this point of time or in this context, how best Kerala is, and he rightly pointed out the three questions that setting the context. Why Kerala, rather? Why Kerala is important investment or destination point, and what are all the opportunities available to returnees, and what are all the opportunities for the budding entrepreneurs. So I'll take you through a small presentation. Along with that, we discuss. Meanwhile, he pointed out, we definitely at the end of the session I'll try to answer all the questions which have been put up in the Q&A box. See, as far as Kerala is concerned, needless to say that everyone, especially Kerala, it's not only Kerala, it's everyone must aware what is Kerala, what is the achievement of Kerala. What is the landmark achievement of Kerala as far as compared to any other place in India, or rather in world. Actually speaking, if anybody says Kerala, suddenly everyone talks about, or immediately suddenly comes into our mind is about the social development. If we can see the social development index of Kerala, rather we would be very proud to say that we don't need to compare ourselves within context of India. We can even compare with the standard of Western European countries. That is our social development aspect as far as Kerala is concerned. Take it anything, right from education, health, or whatever. In any sector, if you name Kerala would always be forefront as far as social development is concerned. If you take education, see Kerala, off late, very recently, Honorable CM has inaugurated at least 45,000 high-tech classrooms, which is unheard of anywhere in India. There are government schools which have been made high-tech, smart classrooms are made and all those things. But all schools, all 45,000, more than type of schools are having high-tech labs and high-tech classrooms is one of the very important. Like, say, for example, as far as healthcare is concerned, and everyone knows that, what is our healthcare standard actually? Kerala is in terms of maternity mortality rate, maternal mortality rate, infant mortality rate, take it anything, any health parameter. Kerala is one of the forefront in, all the healthcare mission. And in fact, to name a few, like very recently, not very recently, 2-3 years back, government has launched, Ardram, which is, another important PHC level. We are strengthening the PHC, public, primary health center. So that is the, level of achievement as far as Kerala is concerned. That is in the social aspect. But, coming into the context of our entrepreneurship or industrial, aspects, if you take why Kerala is important or why Kerala is different from any other state, if you see, I have listed out one of the best governance state, not because of that public affair index consecutively, awarded best governance state for the 3 years. It is otherwise also, if you come to, Kerala, in terms of administrative setup or governance setup, Kerala is one of the best governed, state in the sense, say for example, it is as open as transparent as simple as, any other, Western countries in terms of, opening up of the business or starting up of a business. So not only that, is best law and order managed society with great communal harmony. Unlike we can say here and there, because in any society there will be deviations, but by and large, if you take a society, is like very peaceful, peace-loving society, communal harmony society, and best law and order governed society. This is actually so. In terms of a good governance, Kerala is always a forefront. So for any industries, any entrepreneurship to be developed, so these two conditions are very, very essential to start up at least. So Kerala is qualified for that. In terms of quality of life, Say, for example, any business, if you're starting, you can start any number of ideas. You can start Antarctica, you can go and start a business. But the thing is that any business needs a good market. Any market needs the purchasing power. Any purchasing power needs a good quality of life. So that is what the Kerala offers actually. So as I mentioned earlier, in terms of education or health standards, Keralites are much above, any standards, comparable in India, and it is most comparable with the world standards. And physical quality of life index is, is as, good as or as equal as Scandinavian, countries actually. And another aspect of, Kerala is that highly skilled workforce. I used to very, jovially, I used to tell my driver being a MTech postgraduate. My driver is actually now MTech postgraduate. So highly, I'm also MTech postgraduate. My driver is also MTech postgraduate. That is a level of, skill set, educational discipline available in Kerala. So such a highly skilled workforces are available. So which nowhere else. Say for example, if you take, Kerala as a whole, educational standards are high and readily available. Highly, massive talent pool is readily available. So that is one of the, best aspect of Kerala as far as starting of any, industries or enterprises. And as far as the digital transformation is concerned, say for example, first digital state in India, the country actually to have a, internet as a basic right, because so far, I doubt that any other state which has been started like this. And we declared that the internet is a basic right here. And a lot of program, based on that government is, actually running. And the highest mobile penetration is there. Optic fiber penetration. If you say the optic fiber penetration, one of the highest in, in India actually. And this is especially is a kind of a starting up of, companies are there as part of this webinar. I would say that in compared to any other, state in India, the best startup ecosystem has been developed in, Kerala, and we have a startup missions. We have a different, say for example, I am also being in charge of director industries. We have separate industrial startup ecosystem is there. KSID, Kerala State Industrial Development Corporation, is having separate ecosystem and incubation centers. So best startup ecosystem provided by, in fact, there is a startup place itself for policy, highly acknowledged policy as far as, India is concerned. So such kind of a best startup ecosystem is available in, Kerala. And everyone knows about the Maker Village. It's the most advanced incubation center for hardware startups in India, actually. So such is the landmark achievement of Kerala. It makes different from any other state. I would vouch for it that any other state, it is not just for the sake of webinar, I'm just telling. Whatever I say is a kind of time tested, actually. So it is, that is why Kerala is different and why Kerala is important in terms of a startup or any other industry to start with, actually. See, this is my actual dashboard when I prepared this, presentation. Now it has been changed actually. But then if you see the dashboard which I have given here, the initially I mentioned one, there's a K-Swift. K-Swift is nothing but that a single window interface for fast and transparent procedures. Say for example, any entrepreneurs, any investor who want to start a business in Kerala, who can simply go to this website and just fill up a form. Depends on how much investment that you are bringing in, that it directs to a different board. Say for example, if it is less than 15 crore, it goes to district board headed by the district collector. If it is more than 15 crore, it goes to the state level board headed by the chief secretary. The beauty is that at the end of the 30th day, you are, if you are not belong to the red category business, at the end of the 30th day, all the state license has to be, should be given. Otherwise, it should be deemed licenses. So that is a power of this K-Swift. So as to, disconnect you from any, physical contact with anyone. If somebody is, not giving in 30 days, you will be getting 30 days as a deemed approval, actually. So that is a K-Swift portal in which that so far the registered entrepreneurs in the K-Swift portal is 10,140 they have registered. Out of it, CAF is a common application format because for any, business, say for example, is like, say for example, you want to start a business, you have to get a land, what is that? A land approval, building approval, KSEB connection, pollution control board connection, and n number of connections and approvals may be required for starting up of the industries. Depends on what industry that you are, you are going to start. Say the application format which I am saying is that it's a common application format. In any application format, we have a simple format is there. What is your name? Where you are going to start? What is your investment? And some 10, 12 questions, which is a common application format. That will be populated to all other departments where you required, kind of approvals. So at a single, one-stop solution, that every department, that's case if will populate your licenses to somebody else. Within 30 days, they have to get in touch with you by in terms of, say, for example, you forgot to, attach some important documents. So they will ask you, but this has to happen within 30 days. So that is a common application format. Out of is 961 so far we have, submitted. And total services that we provided is 742. And these are all increased. Say, for example, services approved today as on date is 190. And deemed approved 48, in the sense that some reasons that action has not been taken, so automatically it becomes a deemed approval, actually. And as far as this, the other one, if you can see that Msme clearances, Government of Kerala has passed, Msme Facilitation Act in order to facilitate, micro, small, and medium, enterprises. That Facilitation Act has been passed by the Government of Kerala, in which 4,580 Msme clearances has happened after 2019. Worth 1,050 crore worth of clearances has been given. And so far we have received in that short period of time 4,938 crores of total investment. And the projects cleared by the single window is 29, and that amounts to 3,600 crore. So I mentioned about the single window board. The 29 projects worth 3,600 crore has been cleared by the single window board, actually. And we are happily, very proud to say that 1.5 lakh, employment is generated in the past, 1.5 years, actually. And last dashboard is about our startup and incubation things. And for aspiring entrepreneurs, registered with us is 60,000 people. And in fact, we have funded 152 plus ideas in this one. And in the private funding, 600 crores plus that we have released for startups from private funding agencies also. And startups and ideas so far have validated, almost 500 plus. So that is, actual dashboard of Kerala entrepreneurship, from the, Industrial Development Corporation. And top 5 reasons why someone has to invest in Kerala. There will always be, especially, I would rather say from Kerala, not from outsider. Kerala, there will be okay. They are successful everywhere, but not in Kerala. There's a kind of a misnomer or misconception is there. But that is absolutely is a kind of a misnomer or misconception. Kerala, that's why previous slide I have mentioned about all dashboard details, actually. And see, as far as the reasons why you have to invest in Kerala, because everyone will ask that, oh, Tamil Nadu is there, Telangana is there, Andhra Pradesh is there, a lot of other states are offering a lot of other things. Then why should I come to Kerala? This was the question often, come to me whenever the investors, met me or meets me. So number one, very important thing, as far as say last week, I just, tell you an anecdote of, one investor who wants to invest 300 crores, in Kerala. Keralite he worked somewhere and then he wanted to settle, he wanted to give back to my society and all those things, stuff that he has come back to me and was discussing. And he said, the UP government have invited me for investing 300 crores. And you know what are all I'm getting? I am getting land free of cost. I'm getting power free of cost. I'm getting clearances immediately. I'm getting blah, 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 all those things. And he said, he put up a final question that what you are going to give to me and why should I come to Kerala instead of going to UP? So I cannot say there's no point of discussing things emotionally in the sense like you are a Keralite, you come to, there's nothing in a business. There's nothing called Keralite or Indian or business is a global community. So I need to have an environment wherein that I have to do a business rather than saying that it is your country, it is your state, that is all different. But a business has to be business. So I said like, okay, Kerala may not give, 100%, free of cost of land because as everyone knows that we are, dear to the land in the sense like our land availability is very, very less. Everyone knows it. So we cannot provide, land free of cost because there is no government land. We have to acquire privately. We have to invest some money and we have to give it back with the kind of a facility. We can't. But Kerala government has taken a decision very recently that yes, in the lease premium, we will reduce 50% during this COVID and other things because a lot of NRK people are returning back and a lot of people wanted to invest. So we need to provide a facility in which that 50% concession may be given. Order is yet to come. But now another, this one, government has decided like, okay, instead of you pay the lease premium at one hand, we are just, having a telescopic model. In the sense, pay 10% now. Say, for example, my land cost is 1 acre, 1 crore rupees. For example, pay 10 lakh rupees now within a month and then pay 5 equal installment in 5 years without any interest. So anybody who is investing in Kerala, no need to think of like having a land cost initially upfront actually. And after 5 years also another 5-year extension is there, in which that we only charge a soft loan interest. Means 10 years time period is there for you to pay up your lease premium, which is going to be for 1 crore means 10 lakhs per annum. So those who are going to invest 100 crores, so 10 lakhs is nothing actually. It's very simple for them. But we can't provide a land free of cost. Whatever I'm saying is that his anecdote which I mentioned to him. And he was talking about clearances. We also give clearances in a single window. And I very categorically said that I'm not blaming any society. I'm saying in Kerala is a more transparent society, in the sense like you apply online, you get it. There is no hidden agenda or hidden cost. Nobody is like political also, administratively also, no hidden cost or no hidden agenda. And unlike, we heard about in some other states. So that way is like whatever you are applying is you are applying, whatever you are getting is you are getting, nothing to do with that actually. Number 2. Number 3 is, suppose the UP government offers all those things to you. So what is your product? Say for example, actually that was a healthcare product related to the nitrile gloves or something like that, I remember. So I said that, where is your market? They offer somewhere in 200 kilometers away from some rural area, some land free of cost in order to develop. That is all fine. Every state government must do, they will do it also. But where is your market actually? So for a market, what you need is that people, that's what I'm saying. Market means you have to, because you can produce anything. In Antarctica also you go and produce something. But to sell it and make yourself available of your investment, there should be a assured market with assured buyer is required actually. That is where the difference between the other states and Kerala. Kerala is a highly consumer state, wherein that anything you sell here is people are, and more importantly, that's what I said, very literate, educated society, conscious society, to invest much more importance given to the quality product rather than money actually. If you say as any Keralite, if you go, you offer some cheap product of 10 rupees and some quality product of 15 rupees, but quality has to be assured. Any 90% of the Keralite go after the quality rather than kind of a less price. That is a inbuilt society. That's what I said, it's a high quality society this is actually. So your stands to sell your product. If it is a quality, people are more willing to purchase here. So you are assured market with assured buyers in terms of a quality. You can't sell. Anybody can give a land. The land cost maybe 1 crore rupees or 2 crore rupees. But by investing 200 crore rupees and make return of this investment in 5 or 10 years or 15 years, in other state, they cannot assure you. I will assure you that in 10 years that you will get back your money and with profitable manner here. That is what the difference between Kerala and other states. Even by investing land 1 crore or 2 crore, it is nothing but it's a small amount compared to your 100 crore investment. You will assured money will be return of investment will be assured here, provided you make a good quality product. So that is where the difference between Kerala and other state I argued, and the same thing I'm arguing before you too. And that is my first reason, is a ever growing economy, because even the worst of the worst economic situation outside India or outside globally affected, Kerala got never affected actually. India in a way it was insulated, and Kerala is much insulated than any other places. Kerala, so it's a ever growing economy because of our high consumer state. Number 2 is we have any product. If you take Kerala is very health conscious and environmental conscious society. In terms of any sustainable developmental goal, if you take it, it's a by nature everything it is imbibed in the culture and setup of the Kerala. That we don't prefer having highly polluted industry here for various reasons and known to everyone actually. So udaharanam, say for example, if you take it drugs, there is no bulk drugs formations here, because bulk drugs require a lot of chemicals and other disposals. But there are a lot of other subsidiary activities. So Kerala is very specific about especially non-red category, that is highly polluting industry. Kerala society will definitely not accept actually. So our industry in Kerala is a highly technological oriented, highly value oriented, and highly skill oriented, which is a sector specific industrial park is available in Kerala. So name it any sector, which I'll be mentioning it later. Any soft sector, growing sector, highly skilled sector, quality sector, you mention, name it, anything, Kerala is having it. And we have a sector-specific industrial parks in Kerala. Say, for example, off late, very recently, we inaugurated a life sciences park, which most of the states are now thinking in the budding stage. We started because even before COVID or anything, started, we thought, government of Kerala thought like, okay, we should, promote a life science sector so that it is a huge budding industry is there. And we have, say, a lot of, Sri Chitra is one of the biggest, research institution available. HLL is there. Technopark, anything we require actually, technology, Technopark is nearby. So we started in Thonakal Life Sciences Park. In particular, the highly skilled medical devices park in association with KSIDC and Sri Chitra Tirunal jointly together very recently inaugurated the, medical devices park for producing a low cost and other, value medical products, which is non-polluting, demand oriented, and in any case, like for huge market is there. A lot of advantages is there. If you want to export, we are getting a Villagem port soon. Airport is there. We have a lot of international airports. So all possible. It is in the NH. Technopark is very nearby. You need it because any software technology is required very nearby. So all kind of locational advantages there for that. So like that, lot of parks we have in every district. Say for example, you want a petrochemical park, we are going to start. You want a rubber park, we are going to start. You want light engineering park, we have a food park in 2 places. That too a special, like say for example, Chetala having a seafood and Palakkad is having other food export. So like that, any sector which is thriving and growing, which will be helpful for people to use the technology, skill and quality, Kerala is having such kind of industrial parks. And very proactive government, as I mentioned, there is no hidden agenda or hidden cost as far as government is concerned. We only want 2 conditions: invest, create employment opportunity. Rest is yours. We don't interfere anything. Like government will support always. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a very high quality skilled manpower is available. And I am witness to that. I already mentioned. And I mentioned about this geostrategic location. Say for anyone who want to say, we always think any budding entrepreneurs or any investors, say he may be coming with say 1 lakh rupees or 5 lakh rupees as a budding incubator, but we always think of him about, okay, one day he's going to become kind of a Bill Gates, one day he's going to become kind of, because everyone comes like that actually. So we consider a person who wants to be a 1 lakh investor or 100 crore investor, it is equal to us actually. We try to help more so that he will kind of, so if you take any investors, we always think like, okay, export oriented has to be there for definitely, so that the value addition will be there. So we are, the Kerala is one of the most geostrategically located place as far as India is concerned. I would very happily, very proudly also say that. Say for example, as of now, if you take, we have a Trivandrum airport, we have Cochin airport, we have Calicut airport, we have Kannur airport, all international, and another is making. If you take Trivandrum itself, say for example, we are going to have a Villagem seaport, which is going to be the transshipment facility in future for the entire Asia actually. And you want to export, which is hardly a 10 kilometers away from you to export actually, by in terms of a air or in terms of ship, and which is located very strategically located on the NH. So road connectivity, rail connectivity, air connectivity, and ship connectivity. And I said number of institutions. You have a lot of research institutions are there, technological institutions are there, management institutions like Zyme, and a lot of institutions are there to offer. A lot of medical universities are there, a lot of universities are there. And technologically speaking, we have a Technopark, Infopark, Technocity, Cyberpark, and Incubation Center. So take anything for developing a business. Kerala is ideally located in terms of geographical wise, strategic wise, technology wise, and quality, manpower wise, and sector specific wise. So that is why the reason why I just I was saying Kerala is an important place for investment actually. And this is what I was mentioning earlier about the sector, investment sector. Say life sciences and healthcare, as I mentioned about, we have a life sciences park. Agro and food processing, I said we have a mega food park. Aerospace and defense, we have defense park. Petrochemical, we are going to have around 300 acres of petrochemical park at Kochi. It's a downstream of Kochi refinery. Government already find out land, and we have given 20,000 crores of rupees. Kochi refinery has already invested. The downstream product going to come. So it is going to be a huge petrochemical market. Downstream market in Kerala. And electronics and manufacturing, which is again is coming up in Ambalur nearby you only in Kochi. Electronics park is coming up. MSME, I said lot of MSME. Actually, a revolution has taken place in Kerala, I would say, which I will be explaining a little later. And marine processing, which I mentioned about Mega Food Park Cherthala, we are having exclusive seafood export zone is there. And information technology, we have 3 IT parks, and 4th one is coming up actually. Within the 3 IT parks, Techno Park is having a 3rd phase, Info Park is having a 3rd phase. So if you take in number that, it is like 9 or 10. Apart from that, we have a private IT parks, like you have Infosys, we have TCS, we have all sort of people are having a separate IT parks is also there. Also information technology. So these are all the strategic areas which will never affect, say if you take, which will non-polluting, environmentally non-affected, at the same time highly what's that, value oriented, skill oriented, number of employment opportunity also can be generated. So such kind of it's a kind of a strategic thinking by the government to develop such a particular sector, so that it will not non-polluting also, at the same time it will be beneficial to the investors and the economy. I was mentioning about earlier the business. When it comes to a business, there should be a ease of doing business. Say somebody is coming, if I can complicate the things, then definitely they will be, always there is a comparison, they will always having a place to go. So as far as industrial licensing in Kerala is concerned, Kerala is, very, very conscious about doing this ease of doing business. And that is why we started that case, which is, single window interface for fast and transparent, which I have mentioned earlier. You just simply, apply, it says common application form. If this common application form, if you go to the case portal and apply, and the project's worth below 15 crore, that's a USD 2 million, district level board set up by the district collector will approve it. All other departments will be sitting in this place every month. They have to conduct the meeting, they have to clear the project. Otherwise, the approval would be deemed. If it is above 15 crores, that is a USD, 2 million more, it's a state level board headed by the chief secretary will clear this project. And I was mentioning about MSME revolution. Kerala government has passed the MSME Facilitation Act actually. 2009 it started, and then the amendment has come, and very recently another amendment. We just we in a little ahead, we just, going ahead, and we are just, announced already. Now rules is on the anvil, which is nothing but that 7 days, not 30 days. In 7 days, say for example, high value investors, if I say that more than 15 crores, even 1,000 crore people also, falls into this category. And 16 crore people also falls into category. So in MSME sector, after 50 crore, it is a large investment is coming in. So in order to differentiate MSME and those who are coming with the high value investors, so we need to give much more, impetus to them. So government of Kerala has passed the 7-day industrial licensing rules. Instead of 30 days, those people which are under non-category, if they apply, within 7 days, they will be given license. And this license will be valid for 5 years. And moreover, within 1 year, no inspection. Say for example, after giving license, some municipality comes, some this fellow come, pollution, there is no licensing, because within that period that you have to take whatever the license you want to take actually. Similar is the case with the other composite license, which is a 30 days. As far as this is concerned, within 30 days, we'll give kind of exempting the approvals. It is not actually as an approval, it is exempting approval under the State Act for 3 years. In the sense, you want to start a business, you start, apply and get the acknowledgement certificate online today. Say for example, you have idea, you have a place, you have to start a business. Go to case, say you are investing, apply, just click it. If it is less than 10 crore rupees, get the acknowledgement certificate. Then and there, you start a business. Nobody will, question you. 3 years time period will be given to you to take all licenses which are required for, to start the business. Till this 3 year, nobody will disturb you. Means, say for example, you want to start up some kind of a small company wherein that going around, getting approvals will take a lot of time. You have an idea, you have money, you want to start immediately. Within a day, not even a day, once you submit, you get acknowledgement certificate, you are ready to start your business. And 3 years time period, we are doing for taking whatever the approval is required as per the Act. And suppose within the 3 year, it is not possible for you for some reason, valid reason, again 6 months period, grace period we are giving actually. So totally 3.5 years is, I don't think so that, any government give 3.5 years exemption for taking any licenses. So I said like 7 days licensing period, more than 50 crore investment has come in. The rules is being framed. Maybe most probably in a day or two that will be, come into place. mentions about the investment bureau. So in the investment bureau headed by the principal secretary and CEO being MD KSIDC, every week whoever is applying, and if it is non-red category, we immediately give 7 days license. Within 7 days we give license. So that such is kind of a ease of doing business Kerala is concentrating actually. And how to start a business? Say somebody who are already into the business, they may be knowing, or somebody who comes from, say for example, return from abroad, who want to start, or budding entrepreneurs who want to start up or something like that, they will be having ideas. They may have money, or they may have a tie-up with kind of institutions to get money. But as far as everyone, say you may have idea, but need not that idea what is that, shape up into a business. So who will guide and what type of guidance is required, to whom I should approach? So a lot of confusion would be there, especially startup companies and budding entrepreneurs. So we have a common portal called Invest Kerala portal. This Invest Kerala portal is a one-stop solution for all. Say for example, in the Invest Kerala portal, it's a common integrated web portal actually. See, it is a single window facilitation for all your investment. Any industrial related activities or any industrial, this one, you can view it from this single, Invest Kerala. Say for example, if it is a Kinfra, if it is a DIC, that is the Director of Industries and Commerce, KSIDC, KBIB, these are all the industrial corporations in which that you have to approach for any kind of industrial activities. So all the activities and informations are being, uploaded into this in a common, platform. Not only that, this provides a common repository for the land bank details. In the sense, say for example, what are all the lands available with the KSIDC, in which location, whether it is there or not? What are all the land availability with the Kinfra or whatever? So repository of land bank details is available. And further, say for example, you have an idea, you don't know what to do. That we have very recently, last month, we started toll-free queries, inaugurated by Honorable CM, and toll-free line number I have given 1800-890-1030. So toll-free number is there. You call and you ask any question. The team will answer for your questions. If at all, if the team needs a kind of it has to be escalated to some level. Naturally, it will be escalated to some level, and you will query. Not only query, you will be getting a handhold support for starting up the business. And otherwise, you can have investkerala@ksidc.mail.org or the email ID, wherein that you can send your queries, that it will be addressed properly. So that is an Invest Kerala portal. And within that portal, we have an investment wizard as well as the know your approvals. It's a separate, within the portal, it is there. The investment wizard is like, kind of very, beautiful, wizard this is. It is nothing but that whatever your investment related query, say for example, I want to start a business. Say then you go to this wizard and you say that, yes, I want to start a business. It will populate, some 36 questions. In the sense like, say, how much land, where is a municipality or corporation, what is your project area, whether what are all the things, say you want to dig a borewell, or you want to do a ETP, and all sort of questions related to the industries which you are trying to start, will ask the questions. And then it will populate automatically that, it's a comprehensively, it will populate that what are all the things you need to do as investment. So such kind of facility is there within this portal. And as far as know your approvals portal, if you go that, it will show that list of our departments, what kind of approval is required and how many days or things are required is given in know your approvals sections. So this is a one comprehensive area wherein that we are having Invest Kerala portal. Anyone who want to start a business, just definitely you try that. And if you have a further doubt, you have a toll-free line. Still further doubt, you want to clarify, you have KSIDC, email is there. And in addition to that, it is under the pipeline. We are starting a investment facilitation center, which is already started in all the district under the DIC. GM DIC is in charge, and one of the fellow is sitting there actually. It is like through this one, like investment facilitation center, we want to handhold right from the day of your ideas towards realizing your business actually. And investment facilitation center at the headquarters at state level is being set up here in Trivandrum. Soon it will be inaugurated, wherein that you can walk in and you can get your ideas and go with as a businessman. That kind of a facilitation is going to happen. It is almost in a month or so it will be comes through. So I was, talking about K-Swift, which I have, earlier, mentioned about the K-Swift, this one. If anybody who wants, okay, they have a concrete idea and want to start a business. So the K-Swift is the one, comprehensive, this one, you can go and then you apply. It's a single window mechanism. Depends on what type of investment and how much investment that we are going to invest. Based on that, K-Swift, it is a common application irrespective of investment. As I mentioned earlier, if it is less than 15 crore, it goes to the district board. More than 15 crore, it goes to the state board, and it is a 30 days, window period is there. And the investment which is less than 10 non-red category, I said only by submitting your application and taking acknowledgement certificate, you can start a business. That is a common platform for all those things, which is a K-Swift. As far as a startup, support is concerned, and as I mentioned earlier, Kerala government is a forefront in supporting startups. Unlike, we never consider startup as kind of a, burden to us, in the sense that if you start 100, maybe some 25, 50 may try, rest of them may not, but still the 25 is very important to us. So government of Kerala, a specific startup village is being started, maker village is being started for the hardware. One of the pioneer in startup ecosystem in Kerala is the government of Kerala. And apart, not only the ideas where incubating your this one, some space or setup, plug and play we are giving, we are providing assistance too. In Kerala State Industrial Development Corporation, actually, we have a mechanism or funding pattern called seed funding. In the sense, like, you have a kind of entrepreneur skill, with you have ideas, you want to start, some kind of a project. Without any collateral, KSIDC is giving 25 lakhs, up to 25 lakhs, or 90% of the initial cost of the project will be provided by, this one, which is a soft loan. Not interest rate is not a market rate, up to 25 lakh rupees, which is a soft loan, no collateral. We are just, giving that seed funding. Not only after providing fund, we just, will not leave it as it is. We are, tying up with the leaders in that particular industry. For example, if somebody is coming up with medical devices or life sciences, we have a lot of, our own, earlier funded industries, and good, mentorship is available with us. Say, for example, we have Thermopin Ball. It's a good, support or mentorship is provided by this. So we not only provide the fund, we also handhold you, providing by mentor support and other kind of advices. And the business incubation, as I mentioned, we have Kozhikode and Ernakulam, we have a space for incubation. If anybody is having an idea to incubate it, not this is, this setup is, only about the KSIDC. Apart from that, government of Kerala through startup ecosystem and maker village, there is a separate incubation. Different, industrial setup is having different, incubation system is there already. Say, for example, women entrepreneurs. We are specific emphasis we are giving to the women entrepreneurs. In the sense, we started a B mission, in the sense that same, any women entrepreneurs having idea, we have exclusively, around 250 lakhs being, earmarked for the women entrepreneurs to incubate that idea or start up their, ideas actually. And as I mentioned earlier, KSIDC providing not only funding, as well as providing a mentorship also. And almost, we have assisted 100 startups by way of seed funding. And to the next level, now what we are doing is that out of, 25 startups which we have incubated, we are selecting 5 who are, say, for example, they've done well and wanted to escalate or scale up to the next level. We are providing a scale-up fund further 50 lakh rupees for the same terms and conditions for the startups which we incubated. So such kind of a facilities and setup and the support is being provided by the KSIDC and Government of Kerala for startups. And I'm not elaborating on this point, but then there are a lot of success stories about the startups. These are all a small list of startups which KSIDC has incubated, and successfully they are doing well in not only India context, it is a global context. They are successfully doing well, and that's it about the opportunities and the systems and why you need to invest in Kerala. And I hope I have covered all the points. If it is not, during the Q&A, I can clarify it.
Thank you, sir. I think, it's been an eye-opener for me personally. I think for all the, the audience here, the kind of systems that the government is trying to put in place, especially with the, the single license window, with the focus on certain sectors, the kind of infrastructure that they're trying to come up with, I think it's quite mind blowing, to use a word.